Coming up on today's Philadelphia Eagles Now, we have a Landon Dickerson injury update from ESPN's Adam Schefter after he was carted off the field at the open practice last night at Lincoln Financial Field. That'll be topic number one. And then topic number two, Eagles fans get some exciting news going into the second week of the preseason. They'll have a couple of joint practices this week against the Browns. And then on Saturday, they will host Cleveland at Lincoln Financial Field. Before we talk about all of that, by the way, hope you all had a fantastic weekend. My name is Chase Senior. You're, of course, watching Eagles Now. I want to say thank you to all of the legends, all of the real ones, all of the loyal viewers of this show, because yesterday we did surpass 124,000 subscribers. Join the movement. And if you want informative, insightful, entertaining, thought-provoking Eagles coverage every single day, year-round, I have you covered. This channel is for you. Lock us in today. As for the latest on Landon Dickerson, I did do a video on this last night with some video of what happened to the three-time Pro Bowl guard for Philadelphia at that left guard spot. He got carted off toward the end of open practice on Sunday night. It was the only open practice that the Eagles will have throughout training camp and the preseason this year. He walked gingerly off the field after he was on the field on all fours for a little while. And of note here, Dickerson, who is going to get an MRI on his knee today, has had some knee issues briefly in his professional career. But when he was in college, he started at Florida State, then he went to Alabama. He tore ACLs in both of his knees when he was at Alabama. And so there is a history there. And I talked about this when the Eagles took him in the second round out of Alabama, when he won the Remington Award for the best center in the country, that I thought the Eagles were getting a fabulous player in Landon Dickerson. But some red flags there, given the issues that he had with his knees at Alabama. And here is the video that a viewer sent me sitting in the 100 section at the link last night during this open practice, and you will see Landon Dickerson at that left guard spot go down. And it's very difficult to see what exactly happened here because his left foot appeared to get stepped on by Jordan Mailata. That kind of put his right leg in an awkward spot, and then he just went down. And so we can look at this clip so many times, and I know a lot of doctors who are famous in covering the NFL now, doing fantasy news and betting news, using their medical background to really capitalize with that service. They've even looked at this and they've said, really not sure what's going on. Now, there was some rumblings last night. You see how Dickerson goes down. Did he tear his Achilles? Well, it appears as though that is not the case. So that's a sigh of relief because Adam Schefter reporting this morning at about 7:35 a.m. Eastern time that Pro Bowl guard Landon Dickerson is expected to undergo an MRI today on his knee. So we can dwindle this down to it being a knee injury for Landon Dickerson and not an Achilles. And of course, when you get that imaging done with the MRI, that will tell you if there is a tear. Now, we're not sure what the MRI is going to be honed in on. Is it the ACL, the MCL, the meniscus? Is it a patellar tendon injury? We have no idea. So the good news, not an Achilles injury for Landon Dickerson, it appears. The bad news is we wait to see if anything is torn, and as soon as we get that information, I'll be sure to pass that along right here on today's show or with another video on Eagles Now. Now, this is, of course, a big question that I have, that a lot of Eagles fans have, and let's get to the root of it. What do the Philadelphia Eagles do if Landon Dickerson misses time? Thankfully, the Eagles have the best offensive line coach in the NFL in Jeff Stoutland, who has done an incredible job of maximizing players all along that offensive line during his stint as the Eagles offensive line coach, and his hiring goes down as one of the only good things that Chip Kelly ever did in Philadelphia. And on top of that, the Eagles also have time on their side. There is 3.5 weeks to go until the season opener against the Dallas Cowboys to figure it out. You could go with Quinyon Green at left guard. You could move Tyler Steen to left guard and Matt Pryor, who has over 1,000 snaps played in his career at the guard spot. Steen filled in for Landon Dickerson at left guard in the NFC Championship game last year when Dickerson moved to center to replace Cam Jurgens. Brett Tauth can play left guard. Drew Kendall was drafted as a center and a guard. He has over 30 starts in college at center, but he's gotten some reps at guard throughout training camp. In 2024, the Eagles used a 5th-round pick on Trevor Keegan. He's capable of playing the left guard spot. The Eagles also drafted 3 offensive linemen in the 6th round. Now, Cam Williams and Miles Hinton, they have offensive tackle experience, but they could slide to the interior. And Drew Kendall, as I noted, could play guard as well. The best free agent out there is Brandon Scherf, who is a former top 5 overall pick by the Washington Redskins at the time. He played last year for Jacksonville and played pretty solid. He's definitely longer in the tooth, but he's definitely the best free agent option out there. And then, of course, Howie Roseman could make a trade. He did trade for Kenyon Green in that C.J. Gardner-Johnson deal, and Green is a former top 15 overall pick, but he's also injured right now. And when he's played for Houston, he's been one of the worst offensive guards in all of football. And this would be a huge loss, literally and physically, for Philadelphia if Landon Dickerson is out for a while. Worst case scenario, out for the entire year. Not only is he one of the best left guards in all of football, a player who the Eagles spent $84 million on with a contract extension last offseason, he has also emerged as a terrific team leader for this team. I mean, how many times did we see the viral clips of him in those Eagles huddles prior to games getting the offensive line fired up? And I loved what he said earlier in training camp. Every team has an expiration date. The 2024 Eagles, yeah, we may have won the Super Bowl. That was last year. This is a new season. We haven't accomplished anything yet, and our record is 0-0. So let's hope that Landon Dickerson is okay. On Twitter, you can give me a follow. On X, at Chase_Senior, I put together a Landon Dickerson prayer circle. You can head over there. You can give me a retweet. Let's get the good vibes going, because he is a very difficult player to replace leadership-wise, and then as a player who impacts the success that the Eagles are able to have running the ball and passing the ball. Now, coming up next, going into the second week of the NFL preseason, Eagles fans get some good and exciting news. We're about to talk about that on the other side. But I do want to tell you about this deal with the Saquon Barkley Kelly Green jerseys. Limited time only, while supplies last. The Saquon Kelly Green Eagles jerseys are 20% off. They were $130. They are now on sale for $103.99. These have been one of our top sellers across the board here at Chat Sports. So take advantage of that deal while it lasts. Chatsports.com/Saquon Kelly. You use that link, it takes you to Fanatics. Fanatics knows that Chase Senior, Eagles Now, and Chat Sports sent you. Get geared up for the start of the 2025 season. All right, let's get to the back half of the show. Going into week 2 of the NFL preseason against the Cleveland Browns after a couple of joint practices, we have something that we can very much look forward to. Shedeur Sanders in his professional debut over the weekend played for Cleveland, got the start for the Browns, and he played very well. And he should, according to head coach Kevin Stefanski, get extended snaps against the Eagles in week 2 of the preseason at the link. And you can say whatever you want to say about Shedeur Sanders. I don't like how he handled the pre-draft process. I was at the NFL Combine. He certainly has some aura, but he rubbed a lot of teams the wrong way with how he carried himself, what he said. I don't think that his pops, Deion Sanders, did himself any favors. I think that Shedeur last year in college football was one of the top quarterbacks in the country. Do I think that he had first-round talent? No. But it was also a thin quarterback class. I thought that he was worthy of going in the first round for teams that needed a quarterback. More so a day 2, round 2 type of player. Doesn't have a bazooka for an arm. He's not extremely mobile. He's not overly athletic. He's not huge in stature, but he is accurate. He is good in the red zone. Pretty good last year at Colorado against the blitz. And I thought that he should have been a day 2 pick. But because of him not willing to meet with teams who needed a backup, because of how he handled some of those interviews, how he acted as though he was a star when he wasn't really that bona fide number 1 overall pick, how he would say, I'm just trying to be legendary. Probably not a great look. So say what you want about Shedeur Sanders, but he is a ratings machine. He draws hype, and he draws a lot of eyeballs. And in the preseason, we as fans are looking for these types of storylines. We as fans are excited to watch players like this to see how they fare, to project what they could become at the NFL level. And Shedeur Sanders coming into the link is going to be electric. It's going to make for one of the most electric preseason storylines and atmospheres that you could imagine for a game that at the end of the day doesn't really matter outside of roster battles and position battles. This is also a storyline that the mainstream media is going to salivate over. The Eagles are once again going to be at the center of the football universe on Saturday against Cleveland. They're the defending Super Bowl champions. They're in one of the biggest media markets in the country. The Eagles have what has become a worldwide brand. We've seen that here on this show with how Eagles Now has been able to grow. People literally watch this show from all across America and worldwide because the Eagles are a team that has star power. They've had a lot of success since the turn of the century in 2000. They've won 2 Super Bowls since 2017. And going into 2025, they're looked at as a team that is still loaded, that is capable of repeating. And so you have that coupled with going up against the Browns and Shedeur Sanders. And when you have a player like Shedeur playing, not only is it going to pique the interest of fans, right, where we will be watching every snap of Shedeur very closely and dissecting it very pristinely, but other players who are going up against Shedeur because of how he carries himself, the aura that he has, the popularity that he has, the celebrity that he is, players are going to bring their best. And they're going to have that added hustle, added energy, trying to pick him off, trying to force him into a bad play, trying to sack him, trying to make a play because they know that all eyes of the football universe are going to be on that game. And according to Kevin Stefanski, head coach for Cleveland, Shedeur is expected to play a lot on Saturday, which makes a preseason game, when sometimes they can be difficult to get through, a lot more exciting, especially for somebody like me, because we saw here company-wide with our most viewed watch parties that Shedeur drives ratings. Our Browns Report, which is a channel just under 50,000 subscribers, had our most viewed watch party company-wide. Week 1 of the preseason, 158,000 views, and we had Joey O'Donohue, who we just hired, who's a lifelong Browns fan, make his debut on air for that game for the Cleveland Browns. Philadelphia Eagles now, this is the popularity that the Eagles have, but also they have a lot of intriguing players, a lot of fascinating storylines around Philadelphia. The Tanner McKee effect is real because people are starting to realize this dude could start for a handful of teams across the NFL. Here on Eagles Now, second most viewed watch party at the company. And then our Raiders Report show, a lot of intrigue around that team with the new regime, Pete Carroll, new GM, and John Spytek. And that's a channel that has, I think, 200,000 plus subscribers. So can't wait for preseason game number 2. It's going to be a ratings juggernaut here on Eagles Now. And Shedeur, he legitimately played well in that preseason game against Carolina. I thought that he displayed good pocket movement, good pocket mobility. He made some really good plays downfield. A problem for him with Colorado last year, held onto the ball too long. He also got sacked a lot. That Colorado offensive line was atrocious. Former Eagles offensive coordinator Pat Shurmur was the offensive play caller for Colorado. I think that his offense is very outdated. That hurt Shedeur at times. But we did see some of the strengths, right? Pocket feel, pocket mobility, throwing with touch, timing, accuracy, and anticipation, being good in the red zone. And those touchdown throws that he had, they were pretty solid throws. And I can't wait to see what Vic Fangio has in store for Shedeur Sanders. Good stuff. Speaking of that, programming alert. As I mentioned, we will be live. Eagles-Browns on Saturday. You don't want to miss it. So be sure to join us and hit that subscribe button.